Wondering what in the world am I doing? Something is obviously wrong. My husband is on the way.
If you haven't already heard, we demolished this deteriorating, unsafe house on our property. It was a lot of work, but also a huge relief to see it come down. Since we weren't able to rent a roll-off dumpster when doing this demo, we had to pile up the debris on each side of the house. In our last episode, we burned through the smaller pile to the left, and since then, we have gotten more help sifting through the debris to salvage usable materials and load a trailer to haul off to the landfill. We even had a friend come over to cut out a spot where we eventually want to put our shipping container, and to push off the remaining debris off our concrete slab. His tractor made easy work of that. Ginger and I still have a lot of work ahead of us, and if we wanted to make any significant progress, we had to bite the bullet and rent some more heavy equipment. Welcome to Ginger and the Giant.
I'm headed over to Abdullah's with Han Excavation, and I'm picking up his skid steer. He was nice enough to let me rent it, and a dump trailer. So I'm gonna go grab those things now. Super stoked to get more done. I just picked this dump trailer and this skid steer up. We're just gonna get it unloaded and start cleaning up the pile. So I gotta find a good spot to unload, and then we'll get after it. I just need something to get it a little more elevated. We'll see. This thing almost tipped, I guess, loading it. So I really don't want to tip it unloading it.
Look how tight of a fit that is.
I know.
It's gonna be fun getting it back.
Couldn't be any closer fit. That should be fine. Got the key up here. Can you go hit the emergency brake on the truck? Here we go. All right, changed my mind. And here's why. I feel like I'm too inexperienced, and me backing off of this trailer is gonna push this truck on a sideways angle. I wanna have the truck straight on, so I'm gonna pull forward, and I may flip around and come back up and try unloading there or out on our big field. It's probably fine, but
Better to be safe.
too many unknowns. It's not my stuff. I'm gonna go to the far end of the property. Woo! I don't like this. Probably wasn't as bad as it looked. All right, I'm gonna roll down the windows too. It's a little warm. Oh yeah, I don't know how to move the seat. Oh. I think it's Jordan's first time driving a diesel. All right, here we go. Hopefully we can get a lot of work done with this thing.
First on the list was loading up the dump trailer with all of this, the house remains. Our local landfill was already closed for the day, so we wouldn't be able to take it until first thing in the morning. Ginger's and my #1 priority in renting the skid steer and dump trailer was to get the piles cleared from both sides of the concrete slab to prepare to move our fifth wheel over to it. After working on this pile by hand and seeing very little progress compared to the effort given, it was very encouraging to see how much the skid steer was taken care of, even with just the first load.
Ooh, that's a big spider. Ew.
As Ginger was filling up the dump trailer, we noticed some gaps on the far side, so he repositioned the trailer so he could access the other side to distribute the weight well. Then, with our load ready to take to the landfill first thing in the morning, we moved on to our next task of leveling the very uneven ground around the well house.
Fuzzy black caterpillar is running for his life. It's a fast one.
Once the caterpillar made its voyage safely across our work zone, Ginger proceeded to level out the ground. Next was widening the road by the house. Han Excavation originally cut this out for us a couple months ago, and it has substantially helped us with traffic flow on our property. We just want to add the ability to turn either way out of this road. This allows another easy turnaround option in the middle of our property. All the back and forth of the excavator made our dirt into silt and created a haze of dust everywhere. It certainly made everything dirty, but it was also fun and entertaining to play in. We also wanted to move the ashes from our last episode's burned pile and all the dirt underneath so we could have a flat spot next to the concrete slab to eventually spread grass seed and have a nice place for the boys to play. There was still stuff embedded in the dirt, so Elena helped pull it out to throw away before the dirt was moved up the way. This was a lot of driving for Ginger, but it was exciting to see that every bucket load was cleaning and slowly sculpting our landscape into the shape we want. Much was accomplished, and it was a great way to start our weekend. We were up bright and early since we had a tight schedule to stick to, and to optimize Ginger's time with the skid steer, I was responsible for driving each load to the landfill. I've never done this on my own before, so thankfully Ginger joined me for the first trip. He made sure I knew what I was doing and gave me the tips on how to be safe and what to look out for when I was on my own.
Do it. Thank you so much for doing this. This is huge. And you did amazing. You understand how that all works now?
I believe so.
Okay.
Thankfully, being a woman, people are very willing to help.
Oh yeah, you'll have plenty of help.
Back at the property, we loaded up the pile we pulled out of the well house a few months back, so we wouldn't have to look at it every day we stepped out of the RV. Then we filled up the rest of the dump trailer with the main pile.
Trip number 2 to the dump. First time by myself, so let's see how it goes. Do I look nervous?
While Ginger waited for me to take my first solo load, he finished leveling the ground around the well house, as well as broke up the roofing so it would be easier to load into the dump trailer later, and he found another critter.
It's absolutely disgusting. Oh. Spiders.
Just finished my second trip to the dump, and it was the first time by myself. Yes, I drove the truck with the trailer by myself. It was nerve-wracking, but I did it. And so thankful for Russ and Chase, who were helping me out at the landfill. And Beverly, you were so sweet. Thank you. Thank you for making this experience so pleasant. Pulling up to the property for load number 3. You guys, it's already looking better around here. Ginger's doing such a great job.
Running into an issue the more the pile was being pushed together. The pieces were getting tangled and intertwined, so whenever the skid steer bucket went to pick up a load, if one piece fell out, it was most likely taking the majority of the scoop with it. This may have not been the perfect equipment for the job, but we are still so thankful that we were not doing this all by hand.
Trip number 3 to the dump, and I just checked the weather. It shows 91 degrees, but it feels a lot hotter than 91 degrees. And I am not running the AC in this truck so that it has all of the power it needs to pull this load to dump at the dump. I do have a little more confidence in my abilities. I had one successful trip by myself, so here's to 2 successful trips by myself. Oh, it's burning up in here. Woo! Driving back and forth, all day long. It's not my favorite task, but you know what? Progress is happening, and that is good. And I like progress. That makes all this driving worth it.
Well, you guys, I have some news, and not good news. So I was up doing the 3rd dump, and a man was so nice to help me because he saw I was struggling trying to back up, and he noticed that there was a leak underneath the truck, and he thought that it was transmission fluid, which it turned out he was right. So there was a puddle of transmission fluid underneath the truck that we are renting, and I'm stuck at the dump. So that's cool. This is an old truck, and I've been trying to be so careful. Of course, this is my first time driving and doing stuff like this, so I don't know if maybe I did something wrong to set this off, or if it was just its time to have a hole in it. I don't know. Our goals of taking 4 loads to the dump today is probably not gonna happen. Sterling and Elena are gonna make their way over here to me and fill up my transmission fluid and maybe repair the leak wherever it is so that we could get back to everything that we need to get done at the property. We were doing so well. I didn't want to call Sterling and ask for help. I was so excited that I was actually doing something to take something off his plate, and I'm only adding to it. I'm so sorry. I am on my third sparkling water because it is still hot out here. And there's flies that keep on landing on me. Whoa! So annoying. I will only have to be here for another like 40 minutes or so because they're gonna be here in about a half hour, and hopefully 10 minutes later they'll have the transmission fluid in, and this will all be behind us, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have enough time to bring a fourth load. There they are! They're coming for me! They're gonna help me! Do you want me to pop the hood? Let me go do that.
Ginger quickly checked and refilled the transmission fluid, and we made sure there weren't any new leaks. Then we started our trek back home.
Ginger's driving now, and that makes me relieved.
Feels really strong still. I think it's just got a leak.
Hopefully just a seal.
Yeah. Looking at all the temperatures, oil temperature's fine. Has a trans temp, is below the middle even. It's towards cool. Everything looks good. The truck feels good, it's running good. I literally think it's just a seal that is bad on the transmission, and it's just dripping. But I wanted to play it safe rather than end up in a position where we have to buy a whole new transmission or pay to have it all repaired.
We don't want to do that.
On the drive home, Elena followed us, and thankfully there weren't additional problems, but we still decided to move forward with caution. It would be safer to only use the dump trailer around the property, so we shifted our plans to move the main pile to the other side of the property, where there are already multiple trash heaps and we can't develop there quite yet. At least we can consolidate the mess to take up less space and finally clean up the area we plan to dwell before winter.
It has been a day, you guys. I am on my way to pick up the boys because they were being watched today, so Sterling and I can get more done at the property. And the truck started dumping fluid again. So now we can't even move the junk piles on our property with the dump trailer and truck. It's very discouraging. I also am a horrible help to Sterling. He knows how to do everything, and I don't know how to do anything for property wise. All of my knowledge is like Excel and numbers. That doesn't help us in this situation. So he's having to do a lot of the work, and I'm trying to support any way that I can. We just want to have one spot on the property that is like clean and nice, and then we'll address the rest as we have more time. But like, let's just at least make one spot clean. We don't want to ruin anything. We've stopped using the truck and dump trailer. We're just using the skid steer to be able to move the junk now to the other side of the property, slowing things down substantially. And it's just discouraging when you have a plan and it just doesn't go accordingly, and you just try to pivot and make the best of the situation, and then it goes south again, and you're like, okay, let's pivot again, and it goes south again, and you're like, how many times can we turn this around for good? Just feeling a little discouraged, that's all. We just recently got some news that's making us breathe a little bit easier. Yeah. We want to do right by people, and we want to make sure that things are in better condition than when we got it. And we just were feeling very defeated. Like, what did we do to ruin somebody else's stuff?
We thought the transmission went out, so we're like, okay, here goes a $7,000 bill. So got a hold of him. He said the truck does that, so he just didn't let us know. And so we're like, oh my goodness, we could have been taking loads to the dump.
It wasn't us. So, praise the Lord.
But on top of that, I got a flat tire, so the plug came out. It wasn't me, it was just the plug came out. So I had to replug this tire. Now I'm gonna fill it with air and get back to work. But it's 8:17 now, and there's so much to do.
Yeah, we lost a couple hours of work, which is hard for us because we like to be efficient.
Probably about 3 hours of work, at least.
No more than that, because you coming and picking me up, saving me from the dump, because I was scared to drive the truck because I didn't know if it was okay to drive.
It's crazy. This life is tough. It's always challenging, but we believe that in the end, this will all be worth it. So we're still getting it.
We're holding on to that. It's gonna be worth it.
We got the bucket holding it up, so the little air compressor can fill that tire without the pressure of the skid steer on it. A little stressed right now. The truck just shut off. Transmission is slipping. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to turn the truck around. Just want to turn it around. Operating range.
Since we were down to only using the skid steer, hauling single bucket loads of the main pile to the other end of the property didn't seem like the best use of time. So we moved to the next priority, which was clearing a path from the power pole to the concrete slab to set ourselves up for our next project.
We got the road cut in. That took a lot more work than I expected or anticipated. I thought it would just be an easy push, get the trash, move it over, but there was a lot of dirt. It was more of a slope than I thought, and I want that as flat as I could get it without getting crazy. A lot of this dirt is good, so I'm gonna take it to another spot, hopefully if I have time, and level that spot. There's a little bit of trash in it, but for the most part, I think we can use it. Yay, get something done. Good morning, guys. As you see behind me, we have a new truck. This is Sunday. It's like 9:30 a.m. Came out to Hahn Excavation. They switched out the truck that was giving us problems to another truck. They got me all set up again so we can still move this giant trash pile. They were so kind to let us continue to use their stuff. We just didn't know what to do. We felt really bad. It's leaking oil and we didn't want to be the cause of any issues for them, but super cool that they were willing to do that for us. We're gonna get after it. I'm gonna fill it up and start moving this pile. Unfortunately, yesterday was the only day we could take things to the dump. Today is Sunday. The wife and the kids are at church. I ended up staying behind to help get this all set up, but at least we can get this pile gone in a way that we can function out here. We want to be able to at least have a flat area that we can put grass seed down. So I think I'm gonna just start working, spend the whole day getting that pile moved. Hopefully everything goes smooth. Let's do it. My allergies are going crazy. I've been breathing dust. That right there, folks, is a horsefly. Oh, it's the size of my thumbnail. It would suck if it bit you. Anyway, all right.
With the new truck hooked up, Ginger started to tackle the main pile again, which turned out to be short-lived.
Well, I'm a little discouraged. Got the new truck set up with the trailer, filled it up with another load, and now the dump trailer doesn't work. So I think the battery's dead. Jordan's gone with the car. It has our jump box. So I'm stuck again. Just want to get done. Just want to get this pile moved. Just want to be on to the next thing. And I just keep hitting roadblocks. Okay, so here's my current situation. I brought the skid steer down here to see if the trailer was just too heavy and it couldn't lift it. So I just tried lightly lifting the trailer from the support with a skid steer, just a little pressure, and then hit the button, nothing. So my next option is I'm gonna jump the battery on the dump trailer. Here's what it does. Nothing. I'm gonna try giving the battery some boost and see what it does. Just like one thing after another. Got my jumper box on it, it's working just fine. I had to crawl underneath and hook it up. At least it's working.
We got another couple loads moved, but we were running short on time and quite exhausted from the weekend's work. So we decided to let go of our goal to completely remove the main pile and just decided to finish one final load before cleaning and returning the equipment.
Man, that was a good last run. That's it. Got it in. This is a good spot. It was nice and level. We're going to close everything up and take it back. I feel like we got a lot done. Not everything we wanted to, but progress is progress.
And just like that, our weekend with the skid steer and dump trailer came to an end. We were ambitious and learned a lot, and even though we didn't complete everything we wanted to finish, we still got a lot done.
Thank you.